Now, if we wanted to add an altered, they say altered. They have A7 flat 9, right? Now, if we look, is that A7? Is the A the 5 of the following chord, D? It is, right. So it's functioning, right? And what that functioning tells us is that we can use the altered scale to give added tension, which will result in added sense of resolution, right? And it's kind of a giveaway because they say flat 9, meaning they're giving you an alteration. And the reason that works so well, and the reason they're suggesting it, is because it goes to the 1 chord of that 7 chord. So, yeah, if we took this shape, which is our A7 shape that we used, and said, well, let's get a flat 9 in there. There's a few ways we could do it, right? The obvious way is just take your root and move it up to a flat 9, which would be this. From this to this. I had to shift my fingers a little. I use my index on the 9th fret, my middle finger on the 11th fret of the D string, so that's all the same. I use except the finger, and then my pinky is the 12th fret, which is just as it used to be, and I got my ring finger on the 11th fret of the B string, which is 1 fret up from our root, which is how you find the flat 9. This is kind of the obvious way. The obvious way to find a flat 9 is to just move your root up a fret, which is what we did before when we did this. Cool. And that gives us this this. We had, let's see, E minor 7 flat 5 to the A7 flat 9. That's nice too. We have the oblique motion in the high voice for a change, while the low voice moves downward. Oops, sorry. And then it goes to D minor. So we have a really cool contrary motion here. We have the 9th fret of the E string and the 11th fret of the B string. And when they go to the D chord, our low note is going to go up to D, which is the root. Our high note is going to go down to A, which is the 5th. So now we have that. We've got this. That's beautiful. Now, what if we want to try other ideas? Like, go ahead and go back to your A flat, your A7 before we flatted the 9. So that's going to be 9, 11, 12 string. Good. Now let's try to find flat 9 again, but we won't do the same one we did last time. How about you notice we have a redundant note, right? We have this note twice. They're an octave apart, but they are the same note. Well, that is our third. That's our third. So our third is fairly close to a flat 9 as well. I mean, it's not as close as the root, but naturally, if 9 is a 2, then the root and the third are the closest ones to it. So where would I find a flat 9 for that? So I'll move it to the 8th fret. This is really pretty voicing. I'll move it down to the 8th fret on the D string. And so I'm using my middle finger on the E string, 9th fret, middle finger. And then I'm using my index finger on the 8th fret, D string. And I got my pinky on the 12th fret of the G string. That way I can use my ring finger on the 10th fret. That's really pretty. Now this is going to be hard for me to remember because I haven't played this chord before, this shape, but I should. I should practice, work it into my vocabulary. Let's see what this does to our voice leading. We had E minor 7 flat 5 to the chord we just did, to D minor. If I kept my voice leading consistent, I would want to do that. So this voicing goes, it's quite singable.